Howdy YouTube! Welcome to this episode of Twilight Imperium where I talk about everything that I like about the game. Some things can be quite significant, some can just be little personal preferences, but I just want to basically just let it all out why I think TI is such an amazing game. Where do I even begin? Okay, let's start with the premise of the game itself. There's 6 races, or there's 17 in total, but in each game there's up to 6 races which are all trying to become the next galactic emperor. Think Star Wars, but instead of there already being a galactic empire established, and rather than having like the rebellion or the resistance trying to fight that establishment, you're in a situation where there's no one currently sitting on the throne, and these 6 races are all trying to claim the imperial throne. That's the basic premise of the game. And I just really like that sort of setting, that groundwork that's been laid out. Each of the 6 races, or each of the 17 races rather, have their own sort of strategies and their own sort of reasons why they want to take the throne. So there's a whole meta game involved in Twilight Imperium, kind of like in many other games, such as Pokemon, and there's probably a whole bunch of others, but Pokemon comes to mind because I've been playing quite a bit of that recently as well. But yeah, it's not enough to just know your own race, or know your own Pokemon team, etc., or just know your own characters. You need to have knowledge on what all the other races can do, what all the other Pokemon can do, what all the other characters in whatever game it is that you're playing can do, all their sort of special abilities and stuff. So it's not a light game. It is something you really need to get deeply involved in if you want to become, pretty good at the game. And I like that. I like a deep level strategy type of game. And now, what initially threw me off with Twilight Imperium, I admit, was the whole diplomacy, negotiation, trading aspect of the game. Like, before Twilight Imperium, I was playing other board games such as Tyrants of the Underdark, Blood Rage. And these are also conquest type games, but they do not require you to make deals with other people. You forge your own strategy independently and carry that out, basically. Whereas with Twilight Imperium, sure, you still have that individual planning that needs to be done, your own individual strategies and tactics, but also you have the ability to forge relationships with other players on the table, either beneficial ones or hostile ones, but regardless, those relationships will form. And that sort of political edge to the game I now really enjoy with Twilight Imperium. And let's go for a quick flashback. So, the very first game I played, my friend bought the game round, and we had a 3-player game, just so we could just get the grips to the basic rules, the basic gameplay. I hadn't done any real research on Twilight Imperium, so I was kind of just jumping straight in. I had a very vague idea of what the game was about and stuff, like a very high level understanding what was going on, but, you know, for example, I didn't know what the 8 strategy cards did. I had no idea what the 17 races were. I had no idea what kind of ships you could build. All I knew was that you had to score points to win, and you kind of had, it's with like a bunch of space combat and stuff like that. That's all I really knew. So anyway, so my friend goes over to me, and he's like, he just hands me the Embers of Muat and tells me to play these guys. And in this 3-player game, I played as the Embers, he played as the Federation of Sol, and my other friend played as the Universities of Yona. Needless to say, I had no idea. None of us, I had no idea what I was doing, really. I didn't have much of a clue. That first game didn't really go well for me. I came last. When I was given the promissory notes, I wanted nothing to do with them, because I was just like, I don't want to trade with them. I thought this was I thought I could just sort of, you know, create my own strategies, focus on my own thing and win. It's only after, you know, several games later that I realised that is not the case at all. And the reason why my friend gave me the Embers of Muat, despite them being quite a tricky race to get the grips with, they're definitely easier races that he could have let me play, was because basically all of my friends, they all know that I love Death Stars, War Suns, and, you know, Spheres of Destruction. They're kind of my thing. That's just my thing, you know. I'm not about dreadnoughts and cruisers and Star Destroyers and all that, and fighters and all that other stuff. Nah, forget that. Just give me the biggest damn thing on the board and let me crush people with it. Just let me do that. And so, you know, my friends know me well. My friend knows me very well. And that's why he gave me the Embers to play. And I admit, my very first game of Twilight Imperium, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, I wasn't hooked. I definitely was not hooked. And this is because I only had a high level understanding of the game, yada yada yada. I wasn't really sure what I was doing. But after my second game, I played a couple of different races after the Embers. What did I play? I played the Barony of Letnev, I played the Yin Brotherhood, the Clan of Sar, the Arborak. Yeah, I played those 4 races afterwards, and I started enjoying the game more. You know, each race has its own sort of strategy. I was understanding more about the game, about, you know, the strategy card, all that other stuff. I was just more knowledge, just enjoying myself more. But I noticed that even though I was playing other races and I was enjoying myself more, none of those games were as exciting as the time when I played the Embers of Muat, despite, you know, coming in last with them. You know, I couldn't get the War Sun out with any of those other races, and, you know, dreadnoughts are cool and all, but it's not a War Sun, man. Like, come on. So yeah, after I played those other races, I kind of made a vow to myself to pick up the Embers of Muat and really hammer them in and master them, which I believe I more or less have now. And I've actually done an in-depth strategy guide to the Embers of Muat. And at some stage this year, I am going to do sort of a final guide to the Embers, because I have gained more experience since I have done that first guide. There are some things that I've said in those videos that I no longer agree with now. But yeah, anyway, the point is, the Embers of Muat are my one and only favourite race of Twilight Imperium. The L1Z1X is a close second. I had a game with them like a few months back, and I really did enjoy playing them. They were great. Despite being a ready, steady, dready race, I had a lot of fun playing against them. Okay, so that's favourite race, Embers of Mort. I'm just going to shut my phone off. Sorry about that. Since when do people message me? Anyway, never mind. So yes, favourite race, Embers of Mort. In terms of gameplay, I really like Twilight Imperium because of not only its strategic depth, but also the relationships that you need to forge with other players. I used to not like that aspect of the game, but now I think it's one of the greatest parts of Twilight Imperium, that player interaction that is just not present in other strategy games that I've played. Okay, we're going to go a little bit silly now. So, favourite anomaly. And a lot of this stuff is going to be biased because of the Embers of Mort, but yeah, it's the Supernova Tong. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's a freaking ball of fury doom. This thing just looks amazing. Favourite system, non-home system. Arinam and Mir for the win. Yes, I like Influence, I like the red text skip, and look at Mir, just look at it. Look at that beautiful fury planet. It's just lovely, just look at it. And let me just read the flavor text on there, the Mir flavor text. I'll just read it real quick. Hellish world immolated in the inferno of its nearby sun. Famed for the fury majesty of its surface when viewed from the safety of its many orbital stations. Just look at that. Look at that, it's beautiful. It's great. Favorite home system? Okay, yeah, biased obviously, but yeah, Muat. Again, look at that beautiful fire planet, and I'll read the flavor text on this again. I think it's fiery, not fury. Whatever. The fiery surface of Muat is uninhabitable to most races. It is home to the Gaslight, and only here can they live outside of their cumbersome ember suits. Favourite unit? Yeah, no surprises here. War Sun, big ball of death. Just send it to people's systems and ruin their days. I mean, look at this thing. This thing looks amazing. Like, why would you not want to? Why? I just don't understand why you'd want to play this game if you're not going in for War Suns. Like, Dreadnoughts are boring. Cruisers are cool. Don't get me wrong. Cruisers are pretty cool, but it's just not a War Sun. And if it's not a War Sun, I'm not interested. Okay. Favourite technology. Let's start with the faction-specific ones, and I'm going to go with the not-so-obvious one first. I guess it's kind of obvious. Inheritance systems. Like, I really like this tech. Just being able to, once you get this, just being able to grab whatever tech you want, as with the L1, is just, it's so spicy. So juicy. And another faction-specific ones, of course, is biased, but it is the Magmus Reactor and Prototype War Sun 2. And I really like both of these tech. I think they're both pretty strong tech, especially Prototype War Sun 2 is just absolutely insanely, ridiculously good. And the Magmus Reactor is no slouch either. And as for non-faction specific tech, my favourites are Lightwave Deflector. This is just great. I remember I had a game where I actually had this with my Prototype War Suns 2, and yeah, I didn't win. I got too aggressive. I pissed off too many people with these, I don't know, ghostly War Suns zipping through whatever systems they wanted to attack. I got too careless with it, but it was a lot of fun, honestly. Just in fact, I actually had Mechator Rex with the War Sun on there at one point, and I was just like, yeah, I can actually attack any of your home systems from here. This is great. What else do I like? Plasma scoring. I like this tech. I know it's not the best tech out there. It's not crazy amazing, but it's just. I just like it, you know, extra bombardment with your War Sun is just insanely good. But even with the PDS fire, getting an extra shot is nice as well. I just like the tech. Of course, I have to mention regular War Suns as well. You know, just in case I can't play the Embers of Muat, then I can just go L1 and research War Songs and still be happy at least. Well, that's the plan anyway. I actually want to try Ghosts of Krios with War Songs at some stage, if that's possible. I do want to try and give that a swing. Oh, it could be a back burner project. Assault Cannon? Yeah, this is a good tech. I like this. I do like Assault Cannon. And finally, my final tech. I kept this one last because it's quite underrated. But I'm putting Destroyer 2 here. And I know Destroyer 2 doesn't get a lot of love in TI. You know, having to go off warfare technology to grab Destroyer 2 is not very appealing for the vast majority of races. But, and to be fair, you know, anti-fighter barrage, it's a really strong anti-fighter barrage, don't get me wrong, but the effectiveness is going to depend on what races are on the table. So it's kind of an anti-meta tech that you would research. If like the Nalu Collective, the Federation of Soul, maybe some other races as well, which go fighter heavy. If fighter heavy races are on the table, then yeah, you know, you can look to get Destroyer 2. But most people will only grab it as an anti-meta choice. But I'm finding as the Embers of Muat, I just grab it. I grab it for, well, okay, fine. I grab it for like a 3rd unit upgrade. But even so, being able to just pump out upgraded Destroyer 2s with your Starforge is just juicy. And I think the Destroyer 2 is a little underrated. Yeah, okay, it's a far cry from many of the other unit upgrades such as Dreadnought 2, Cruiser 2, Carrier 2. Yeah, I get that. I do get that. But I like Destroyer 2, okay? And this is my opinion about, and this is all about what I like about TI, so, and I like Destroyer 2, so there. Okay. Promissory notes. So of the 4 standard ones, Ceasefire is probably my favourite. I like Trade Agreement as well, actually. But I think Ceasefire just wins out. Just about wins out. It's just nice to be able to have an alliance with one of your neighbours with the Ceasefire exchange. I've not done it recently actually. It depends obviously on who your neighbours are. But having that option available to anyone is I think is a nice aspect. I mean, so you could do support for the throne swaps as well, but I think that's really stupid. And that's just, I don't think you should do that. But yeah, but you know, exchanging ceasefires for an alliance with a neighbour is perfectly reasonable, I believe. Yeah, ceasefire's good. And as for signature promissory notes, of course, I have to say Fires of the Gashly. This is personal bias, but this whole video is personal bias, so let's just roll with it. You know, I love War Sons, and I used to be afraid of giving Fires of the Gashly out. I was just like, War Sons are mine, no one else can have War Sons. But now I'm learning to be a little more open-minded with this card, and I'm just like, you know what? If it means I could see more War Sons on the table rather than stupid Dreadnoughts and Cruisers and Carrier races, then I'm a happy man. Like, I just want to see War Sons smashing people. That's what I care about. So yeah, giving people War Sons is great. Research Agreement, yeah, I like this as well. I hate the Yolnar. And I think that kind of leans into me playing off the role-playing the Embers a little bit on that one. But I did try. I did have a game as the Universes of Yolnar, and I didn't enjoy it. I was just like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get War Sons. I'm gonna like just smash people, but like, I just got hemmed in really early, and was just stuck in my little corner for like pretty much the whole game. It was really sad. I did not enjoy playing the Yolnar, and maybe I'll try them again at some stage, but yeah, see whether I get those War Sons up and running again. I researched War Sons, and we did a 10-point game, so I didn't have enough time to research and bring them out, because I was having to defend myself and get like PDS2, Evo Siphons you should get anyway, instead of PDS2. But I was just quite defensive, and yeah. But you know, research agreement's awesome. It's such a great promissory note. If you can just, yeah, it's always one I want to be getting with people. Same as Spynet. I like Spynet as well. Like action cards are just amazing. And being able to take the best one from the Ysaral is just fun. I do want to try the Ysaral at some stage, and basically start wheeling and dealing Spynet out, because everyone else, of all my friends who I've seen playing the Ysaral, they've never really... There's one game where I had it offered out to me, and that was when I was the Yona, and I gave them my research agreement. But every other instance, they've just never offered the Spynet out. But if I was to play the Ysaral tribes, I think I would wheel and deal the Spynet like crazy. Just kind of how the Yona wheel and deal their research agreement, I would do the same thing with Spynet. That's something I just want to try out at some stage. It's a low priority bucket list thing. And the other final promissory note that I'm quite a fan of is Acquiescence from the Winnow. Yeah, being able to just swap strategy cards is just awesome. Yeah, I mean, I just really like the ability. That ability is just really good. Okay. Favorite strategy card? Warfare! It's my number one favorite, even though lately I don't really pick it anymore. Yeah, in my early days, I used to be on the Warfare wagon big time. I used to basically either pick Warfare or Tech, and if they weren't available, I'd grab something else. But like, I would just zone in on Warfare and Tech. On most turns. Nowadays, I don't tend to do that. At least not with the Embers. But even with that being said, Warfare is still my favourite strategy card. Just being able to do unexpected stuff, you know, keeping people on their toes. Obviously, you know, because you can just activate this, unlock a system and then attack again. That sort of thing is just you know, really cool. Especially if you have War Sons that you're preparing to move out again. That can become super scary. Right, favourite agendas. I've got a couple. I have to start with this. Xarian Artifact. I mean, this is just such a blast. Literally speaking, such a blast. Whenever this hits the table, there's always a lot of anticipation on what will happen. It's a really fun agenda, and yeah, I think it's just if someone holds the center and they have politics and they see this and they put it to the bottom, then they're just a bunch of cowards, man. Nah, just roll the dice, man. Roll the dice. Come on. Public Execution. Yeah, this is savage. When this comes out, yeah, again, this is another highly sort of anticipation type card. Like, it hits the table and everyone's just like, ooh, someone's gonna get it! Someone's gonna get it big time! Yeah, Public Execution is fun. Wormhole Research. Now, this is just brutal. I have seen... This is kind of similar to the Xarian Artifact, actually. I have seen people's games ruined by this. Just, oh my goodness. This is just great. It's just great. It's so good. Yeah, no, Wormhole Research is a bunch of fun as well. Anti-intellectual revolution. I kind of used to hate this, and I am softening my stance on this now. I'm not as tech crazy as I used to be, so I don't mind this as much anymore. I think it's quite fun. Both effects are quite brutal in their own way, so it's just a fun agenda to throw out there and watch people squirm. And finally, fleet regulations. Yeah, this is a fun one as well, especially if you've got people who are just stacking command counters in their fleet pool. Just being able to wipe out like 3 or 4 command counters or something is just insane. I've never seen it happen, unfortunately. I think the most I've seen someone lose is 2, maybe. But yeah, still though, it's pretty insane. Okay, favourite action cards. Alright, my number one favourite, Courageous to the End. I just love the philosophy behind this card. You know, it's kind of like that last ditch effort type thing. It's like you know you're gonna die, but you know you put the thrusters forward and you just charge blindly into the enemy lines and you try and take out as much ships as you can before you die. It's just that concept, that whole concept of just, is just awe-inspiring to me. And I especially like this with the War Sun. I've never had the opportunity to test it. The funny thing is, the last few games I've played of Twilight Imperium, I have always drawn this card. The last 3 games I've played, I've had Courageous to the End. It's just like, I don't know. It's destiny, man. It's just destiny. I don't know. But yeah, that's my number one favourite. And the other 2 I like is more about the flavour text. So I'll do Veto first. I'll read it out to you. Flavour text. So, Magnus battered the now charred corpse aside with the back of his golden gauntlet. The Muat reject your proposal. So I just like that because of the flavour text. And the second one is Reactor Meltdown. Oops, no, this is the wrong one. Not Reactor Meltdown. I meant to say Industrial Initiative. I picked the wrong one. Sad times. Can I remember what the flavour text is? Yeah, hang on. Just give me a real quick second and see what we can do with this. Yeah, I found it. These gaslight reactors proved to be extremely effective. With the conversion rate practically doubled, the factory's output was immense. So it's another Embers of Moor action card. Well, like themed in terms of the flavour text, I mean. And finally, I will run through my favourite objectives. So we'll start with stage 1. There's only one from stage 1 that I really like, and that is Lead from the Front. And I like it for the name. Nothing else, just the name of it. And even sometimes when I teach the karate classes and stuff with the kids, I even start using it as a phrase now. I'm just like, you need to set an example and lead from the front. Yeah, to some of the sort of the senior belts and stuff. It's just, yeah, I really like it. Lead from the front, just the catchphrase type thing. For stage 2, I like Manipulate Galactic Law, just because of the name. Manipulate Galactic Law. That is crazy. That's just insane. That is some mafia level shenanigans going on there. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. Okay, what else? Conquer the Weak. Yeah, makes total sense that I'd like this one. Just because of the name, but also, yeah, you know, taking someone's home system, you know, ruining their day. I hate when my day gets ruined, though, obviously, but yeah, good stuff. Revolutionize Warfare, and again, just the name of it, Revolutionize Warfare. Now that just sounds badass, come on. And it's quite easy to do as well. Only 3 unit upgrade text, it's pretty straightforward to do. And yeah, okay, this last one I've never done this before, but I just like the name of it, okay? Master the Sciences. I just like it for the name, okay? I just like the name. Okay, and secret objectives, one of my favourite ones. Occupy the seat of the Empire. Now, that just sounds amazing. Just sounds so ominous. So good. Threaten enemies. Again, this is similar to Conquer the Weak, that type of thing. I just like that sort of thing. Spark a rebellion. Such an easy victory point to do unless you're in first place. But yeah, no, normally that's just not the case. And whenever I draw it, it's just an easy VP. I think my number one favourite which I'll show now, is make an example of their world. Just, oh mate, just the images that flash through my mind as the War Sun's terrific bombardment just raises a planet and allows you to score this objective. Oh mate, just yes, yes. You basically do this to the planet. Like, whatever planet you use with the War Sun just becomes one of these things. It's just great. Adapt new strategies. I like it for the name. Just, you know, I think it's a pretty cool name for the objective. And finally, master the laws of physics. It's the last secret objective, which I am quite a fan of. So there you go. That's pretty much all of the, as far as components are concerned, all the component stuff that I like about Twilight Imperium. It's all there on the table for you to view. As far as the game itself, I really like Twilight Imperium because of the strategic depth that it has, and also the political interactions that you need to have with the other members of the table in order to get ahead and win and become the next Galactic Emperor. The setting that the game has is also really appealing to me. Just 6 races vie to become the next Galactic Emperor. Who will it be? Okay, that is a wrap for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Mission complete. Signing out.